Hey guys, today I'm making a quick video on how I think the most effective way to spend your like real life money in TapTap Heroes is. And this is mostly opinion, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. I have been playing for a long time, so I've seen most of the packages and things like that, but I did just want to warn you guys, like I'm sure there's differing opinions out there on what to spend your money on, and it is your money, so if you have any questions like hey, is this worth it? Well, I mean, you've probably heard this argument before, but like this much power in TapTap, is that worth like $20 to you? That may be different for every that's different for every person depending on where they are. But I know there are a lot of people that pay for idle games, and TapTap is an exception. So I thought this was be a really good video for maybe some potential. Like I barely want to spend, like I want to be around mid-level spending, and even for like whales, I know they probably don't think too much about what they're buying because they just buy everything they can. But if you're like a big whale, maybe this will help you prioritize that, right? Anyway, so I hope this helps. I just wanted to like give that little intro. But I didn't really do any surprises here. I went ahead and kind of, if you want to just see my tier list, it's over there. Uh, but got it in order of best to worst. And so if you just want to take a look at that, and I also put a little guide to what the VIP levels were. But in this video, if you want to stick around and keep watching, I'm going to explain a little bit about the benefits, um, what exactly you're looking for, and what my thoughts on are like on these rankings and how far apart they are. So actually, I'll start from the bottom because I did want to. Um, kind of like show you guys how big of a difference I think they are. And pure gems, while you can use it for a lot of things, for example, at this very moment, there's currently a secret treasure event, which I'll show you guys real quick. The secret treasure event is just a place for you to spend your gems, and this is crazy, but right now, this secret treasure event has an 8,000 gem package for a copy of the best hero in the entire game. So actually, gems are really good value right now. Even though I have them on the bottom of my list, gems really are going to be like, this is probably the best thing you can buy with gems ever. So gems are good, but you get gems in almost every purchase that you make. And what I mean by buying pure gem is I mean buying them from here. Yeah, right up here. So, for example, for $100, I'll start with the big one. You can get 50 or 5,000 gems, and on your first purchase, it's an extra 5,000, so it'd be 10,000. So on the first purchase, these things actually have pretty good value. But I'm assuming that if you're going to be buying several, then you would have bought these no matter what I ranked it at. And if you're only going to buy one, I wouldn't I don't want you to buy one of these as like your only purchase in the game because the gems definitely aren't worth that much outside of secret treasure. So um, that's gems. Let's go up to the monthly. And what I mean by monthly isn't the monthly uh, subscription. I'm talking about these. If you go here, gift bag, the monthly gift bag. So these rotate or they don't rotate, but they refresh every month. See how there's a limit of one? They're not good value. I think I've bought them like once because this $5 one wasn't terrible. The rune desk is kind of hard to get now, so it's actually not awful, but really these don't give too much value because it's keys, and keys can be bought with gems, and you naturally get gems from playing the game, right? So there's nothing in here that's like I can only get it by paying, right? So I always, if there's anything I can idle for, if there's anything that I can get via an event or something, then I don't want to pay money for it, right? I'd rather just play the game to get it. So the next one, it's a little bit better, is the weekly, and the weekly is better value overall, I believe. And especially this one up top here, this $100 for the skin shards. This is the only way to buy skin shards like consistently, is you'd have to buy this every week. And these skin shards are special because they unlock skins in the game that can't be purchased otherwise, right? They can only be purchased through these skin shards, not the yellow ones. The red ones are different. But other than that, it's also a terrible value, ranked really, really low. I don't want to spend much time on those. Um, Also, like this here, people think, oh, this is like a rare hero. No, this is usually a bad deal because the diamond key doesn't give you anything good usually. So the next one I had on the list were the value packages, which if you're like probably like VIP 6 or higher, you've probably spent on value packages already. What I mean by that is that the value package changes every week depending on the event. So right now it's key event, summoning keys, grand summons. So the value package will be tailored to that. If it's Miracle Eyes, it'll usually have more Miracle Eyes, or it will wheel, Fortune Wheel, etc., etc., etc. They'll always they're always geared towards whatever event is happening, right? So these packages are really good if you need to complete the event, right? But most of the time we're trying to save up between the events. Even if you're a big spender, you should be saving between events because we can do them 3 times now. So if you're spending here, it's probably because you're desperate to finish an event that you haven't saved up all the way for. And for those scenarios, I'd say, you know what, go for it if it's a really good reward and you don't see yourself being able to buy it in the future or get it in the future. Something like Tear of the Goddess, which we have no idea when comes back, or something like a copy of a really, really rare hero, especially a new hero, then maybe these are worth it. And most of the time, what I recommend is the $30 package is really good value. The $5 package is sometimes good value. In this case, um, the $5 is good if you just need keys. Obviously, it's like you're missing out on the Miracle Eyes, but it's pretty good if you just need keys. Because you'll notice like you get 80 for 100 up here, so they're not even a dollar each, but down here it's a dollar for one key. Um, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, and this is where I'll have to explain a little bit more. I call these the $70 deal, and we don't have one right now, so I can't show you. We had one last week called the Bell Orchid event. These $70 values they vary, like they can be a really terrible deal or they can be a really, really great deal. And they usually come with like something like 30 eyes, a bunch of flags, a lot of whatever the currency is that you need for the event. And by this event is different. I'm not talking about keys or fortune wheel or eyes. I'm talking about like Easter or Halloween or Christmas or Chinese New Year. That's when these packages come out. They have it for St. Patrick's Day. They've had it for like Valentine's Day. So they have these packages on most holidays, and they're always $70. And like I'd say like more than 50% of the time they're good value and they're worth buying if you're like in that VIP 6 and higher range. So be on the lookout for those. And those are probably ones you're going to want to ask the community about if you're not sure first. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which I think most people would have assumed is the best value, and I think this is where these get really close. So the $70 breaks away. All right, so pure gems is like it's hard to rank, but I would put it pretty low, right? And then monthly and weekly are terrible. I would like just completely don't consider those unless you're like a high VIP or a big whale, right? And then the value package, I can like kind of argue that yeah, it's worth it if you need to finish an event. And the $70 I can also argue for being good. And then there's a big jump. Like now the monthly packages, I'd so the 70 and the value I'd recommend for maybe like a VIP 5, VIP 6. But the monthly and mini I recommend for anyone below that. Like these are really good value for you. And what I mean by that is these like monthly subscription cards. So if you do both, which I generally suggest you do both of them. Um, although if you're gonna have to pick one, I'm obviously gonna suggest just the monthly because it's a little bit better than the mini. But if you do both, it's $20 and you're getting 12,250 gems per um, per month, right? So per purchase. And you don't get it all at once, you get it over the course, but sometimes that's really good because you don't want to be spending all your gems at once, right? Also, the higher your VIP level, which let me show here real quick. We'll talk about this later as well. But the higher your VIP level, that a daily bonus gets actually better. So you get even more gems. So if you're a high VIP and you're not using, like if you're up here and you're spending on like value packages and not doing the monthly, you're playing the game wrong. You're playing not very smart, right? Because these are getting better and better value the more the higher VIP you are. All the way to VIP 13, you're getting 260 a day with 5 keys. And like, think about this. That means in 10 days, it's a 5-star hero. But right, VIP 13 is insane. We'll look at that later. So money and monthly and mini, definitely take a look at if you're looking just to, be in that like VIP 3, VIP 2 range, which most people are. VIP 2 is kind of low because after one monthly, you're already at VIP 1. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is the level packages, which I don't have all of them, pictures of them, but I've seen them as I played the game. I know there's one at level 58. There's one with the Minotaur at level like 20 something, and these tend to be pretty good value. I mean, they're usually really cheap. The one that I do have with me that I've seen is it's $30 for 16 eyes and 3k gems. So if you look at that, like if you were to buy that just the gems, $30 puts you at about like not even 3,000 gems. So that's a good deal as far as gems go. And that's not including the eyes. 16 eyes is a lot of eyes. You can get really lucky and pull some good heroes early on. So the next best ones were definitely the level packages. Let's just skip ahead real quick because there's not a lot to talk about those. They may add more, they may change them. So if you're watching it in the future, those may be different. So growth fund. So the number one is definitely the growth fund. It recently came out. I think it'll stay out for like everybody, right? Oh, sorry. It should stay here for a really long time. Everyone should have the option to buy this, and essentially, most games have this. But every time you get 10 levels, you're gonna get some gems, and this is similar to the monthly in that it spreads out how you receive the gems. But if you're planning on playing this game for like in a month, you can probably get to level 80 or so, and that's a lot of gems for $10. And it kind of incentivizes you to keep playing too, because by the time you get to 180, you end up getting 21,000 gems for only $10. That's a really good deal. So I highly recommend the Growth Fund as the best purchase you can make, even if you're free to play and you're like, oh, I don't spend money on games. Like, if you're planning on playing this game for more than say like 2 or 3 months, then the Growth Fund is definitely worth it. So that's my tier list. Let me know if you disagree or if I missed something, because I probably did miss some way. There's a lot of ways to spend money in this game, guys. So if there's something that I missed, let me know. But well, let's talk about VIP. A lot of people ask me, oh, when should I stop spending? Like, what's the ideal amount? And I do have an opinion on that. I really think that if you're going to spend, it's usually good to spend early, right? Like as far as soon as you start playing, you want to get as big of an advantage as you can so that you can start receiving the higher rewards, like from Arena, Legion, um, like Grand Legion, all the kind of different things that come out where the higher you place, the more rewards you get, like Planet Trial. So I do recommend that you probably don't want to just like try and save up early on because it's a struggle. It really is. Early on, if you're not getting good heroes, if you're not getting any 5 stars, you're stuck and you'll start to fall behind. So if you're gonna spend early on, um, at what VIP do you kind of want to stop spending is the question I want to answer here. And in my opinion, you know what, let's look at it over here. Sorry. In my opinion, I think most top players on a server they hit like VIP 7. VIP 7 is kind of the sweet spot for like top players. Like we're talking about top 5 on your server, maybe top 10 in your server. If it's a heavy spending server, but VIP 7 seems to be the way to go. Um, but I wouldn't do this in 1 week or anything like that. I'm talking about like this is spread out over the course of maybe a month or two, maybe 3 months. You eventually want to get to VIP 7. I say if you're first starting out, I wouldn't go past 5. Like 6 is the sweet spot, right? You start collecting that extra shard, and you start to get some like there's a jump from alchemy. bag space. It's a really good it's a really good jump. And what you'll notice is that early on, events purchases are really important. The more you can buy means the more purple you get, the more yellow souls you get, which most people early on are always lacking. And even towards the end of the game, the more 4-star shards you get, which are great for fuse. So at the bottom here, this events purchase times. The higher VIP, I think 7. Yep, 7 is when it hits 4. That's like a pretty good breaking point right there. Um, Also 5. So 5 and 7 are good spots. Um, so I'd say early on, if you want to be like, what do they call it, like a dolphin or whatever, or you're not really a whale, but you're not free to play either, then try and go to 5 and hang out there. Because as you play the game and you're buying the monthly every month, you'll jump up to 7 randomly, like just based on these small packages that you're really tempted to buy. So I wouldn't go past 5. That's my opinion, if you're first starting. Um, Once you've hit 7, I mean, that's you're in a good spot. There's some top players who are at 7, so I think that's a good spot for most like mid spenders. Let's look at exactly how much that is, though. So you see, I have an image here. I'll make it a little bit bigger so everyone can see it. Oh, there you go. So 5, I said, was around the $151 mark. Man, that's a lot of money, right? But for idle games, that's really not that much, especially when you compare yourself to the other players. Um, there's a gigantic jump in the higher levels. Like if you notice what I said earlier, if you buy both the monthly and the mini, it actually gets you to VIP 2. Um, and one more month will already put you at 3. It'll be a couple of months before you get to 5. So if you're buying just the growth and just the monthly and mini, which I suggest, and the level packages, you may not even hit 5 for a few months. I think if you just buy those first 3 that I just mentioned, you're guaranteed to be like pretty strong, like as ahead of the curve for placing and for idling and things like that. I think you're definitely be in the top like 50 on your server, unless it's like crazy and people are spending. Or if you're on iOS, I know more people spend there. So, but you'll notice this big jump from like 7 to 8 is $1,000. And then 8 to 9 is 1,700. 9 to 10 is 2,200. And then after 10, like we don't really see many players that are after 10. I know there are some of them out there, but see this jump between like 5 to 8 is almost double. It's not really, it's 3,000, right? But it's like 60% more of what you've already spent. And that's going to be hard for most people to do. And 12 and 13, if you're at that point, you're not watching my video, you already know, like you have everything you want, right? Anything past 10, you probably don't really care what I have to say. Um, so that's all I've got for where I suggest spending your money. If I missed anything, or if you have any questions, or if you disagreed, like I said, you can message me or you can comment. I'm not the only one answering questions. I've noticed a lot of you guys have been helping people out in the comments. That's awesome. I know there's a lot of people out there who know as much as me or even more about the game. So you guys are really, really nice for helping everyone out there. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm continuing to make more of these videos. If you want like a specific topic for me to go over, then message me on the Discord, which you can find in the video description. Uh, and if there's like something that I didn't cover, I will try to go over it in another video, or I'll message you personally. So I'm always here to help people out. And I hope you guys have liked this series so far, because I'm going to try and keep it going for the next few weeks. Uh, so thanks. Appreciate you guys for watching it. Bye.